Kreimeier, Associate Planner for the City of Fairfield, and I'm here today at Studio 26 with Claude Grillo of the Pacific Flyway Center to talk about this exciting new project coming to our city. Thank you for being here, Claude.
Nice to be here, Amy.
All right, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Pacific Flyway itself?
How about if we start off, why do it?
Yeah.
Why do we want to do this Pacific Flyway? Well, really, our intentions are to create an interpretive center, world-class, to educate the public and for stewardship and wetlands and wildlife. I think this is needed. Our wetlands are being lost, and we have to manage, and to keep our resources up, we have to get people involved, and we can't think of a better way to do it with a center like we're proposing to put together.
And what makes Fairfield such a great place for this kind of center?
Okay, well, that would be our location. Fairfield is located in the Suisun Marsh. The Suisun Marsh consists of 116,000 acres. We have the west side of the marsh is where our project is proposed to go, and we have 590 acres on the Garibaldi property that we bought from the state of California. And on that location, with 280,000 cars passing within a mile away or very near, and we have a population of 10 million people within an hour away. So Fairfield's an ideal location for the exposure for a project this size. So that's why Fairfield is very important.
What exactly is the Pacific Flyway? So if someone doesn't know what that means.
Okay. Pacific Flyway starts in Alaska, and it goes down to the tip of South America, Patagonia. And it's 10,000 miles of nautical miles, or miles in the sky for birds to fly. The Pacific Flyway is one of the flyways. There's the Pacific Flyway, there's a Central Flyway, the Mississippi Flyway, and the Atlantic Flyway. So we have four flyways in the United States. This is probably the most crucial of all because of where it comes from, the boreal forest all the way down to Patagonia. The migration of the wildlife that come through makes this an important stopping point. So the Pacific Flyway and the location of the Suisun Marsh is real important for a stopover, food and water for the wildlife.
Excellent. So how is this idea conceived?
Well, Mr. Hoffman wanted to do something like this. He started in 1999, and he was thinking about doing it near Chico in Durham, California, where he has a ranch there. And we looked at that, and we looked at putting something like this there, but the location wasn't right for the magnitude of the size of building we wanted and the amount of people. So then we started in Suisun, California in 2004, and Suisun would have been ideal, but then again, it's sort of a dead end. It doesn't have the traffic nor the exposure. So we got off it for a couple of years, and he came back to me and he says, "Have you found a new location?" I said, "A new location for what?" He said, "The Flyway. What are you thinking about?" And I said, "Okay." So we found Garibaldi property. We thought it was suitable. It was not an easy venture to get it. We had to buy other properties and do appraisals on other property and exchange it with the state of California. So that's how the Pacific Flyway was conceived, was through Ken Hoffman and his intensity to make sure that we get something for the education, and that's how we stayed on this Pacific Flyway.
Could you tell me a little more about Ken Hoffman and his legacy?
Ken Hoffman was a Bay Area developer, sports team owners. He had the Oakland A's and the Seattle Seahawks, loved the outdoors, avid sportsman, wildlife conservatist, passion about youth education, and he wanted to give something back to the planet. So that's really, there's a lot more to him, but basically he was a very, very generous person when it came to education.
He sounds like a great man.
Oh yeah, he was good. Very good.
Well, we are all very excited about this center. What can we expect from this new center once it's opened?
Well, the center is going to be built in stages. we have the first phase will be phase 1, and that will be walk in the marsh. So all the marsh work and all the conveyance of waters will be in the first phase. We'll have boardwalks, we'll have gravel pathways, we'll have some viewing, we'll have some light kiosks, mobile food and drinks for people that want to stay over and view the marsh. Phase 1A would be the marsh. Phase 1B will be the site work. Mm-hmm. So we have to do the site work, underground utilities, the pad work, and then we'll go into phase 1C, and that will be the building. The building will be 28,000 feet, and within the building we'll have exhibits in there. We'll have a viewing area for a small theater. So we'll look at hopefully breaking ground on something like this in about a year.
Okay.
And then from our first shovel in the ground, hopefully in another year we could have enough money funded for the building.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. I imagine there's a lot of site work to do to get it ready to attract all the birds coming in.
Marsh management and doing the marsh won't be as difficult as will be the site work. Mm-hmm. The site work and the permitting for the site work, which is boring under the freeways, getting all the permits, bringing in our three-phase electrical, untreated water, treated water, sewer, will take some time. But once we get the marsh done, we will focus on everything else that we have to do to keep this going.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How many agencies have you been working with in
Well,
order
we had to
get to
do
this point?
mitigated negative CEQA, and that CEQA process took us about a year and a half. I think we had 8 or 9 agencies to get approvals to be able to get this land certified and cleared to be able to put a building on it. We had to annex the land from the county to the city, so it had to go to Fairfield city voters, and we passed that ballot 72 to 28. So the project itself is wanted by more people than not, and I think that's what's pushing us and keeping us going. That we started with this before we even acquired the property. We went to agencies to make sure that we were doing the right thing, and we talked to the state, and we talked to the Corps and the BCDC and the Coastal, and we got approvals from all of them to keep forward, to keep going on this.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, we will be right back with more on this great project.
With the high fire threat this year, PG&E advises all California residents be prepared for public safety power shutdown. Let's be prepared, Fairfield. Assemble food, supplies, medications, and pet items to last at least 3 to 5 days. Be sure to understand how your home operates without power. These outages may not come with much notice, and the city wants to know that its residents are prepared to be self-sufficient for at least 72 hours. So don't get left in the dark. Be prepared, Fairfield.
Welcome back. I'm Amy Kreimeier with Studio 26, and we are here with Claude Grillo discussing the Pacific Flyway Center. So, Claude, we discussed phases 1 of the project, but once this is a great hit and everyone's coming to visit, what else is in store for the Pacific Flyway?
Good. Thank you for that question. That's very important. We broke it down in phases, and we talked a little bit about phase 1 earlier. We have phase 2. Phase 2 will consist of a 23,000-foot building, and from that, within that building will be a restaurant and an event center, so we can hold outside events and do some fundraising within there, and we'll have it open for the public for food, and we'll figure out all that as we go, how important it is to whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just whatever it is. So that will be the phase 2. So some of the exhibits and the main entrance will be in phase 2. Some of the exhibits that we have will be moved over when we start phase 3. Phase 3 is 74,000 feet.
Oh, wow.
Now that could be quite a few years out. We're not sure. We have to see how phase 1 works out, how the population comes in and how it's visited, and then after phase 1 we will get into phase 2. Phase 3 is the big wing. It's the solar wing. It will have the very comprehensive exhibits. It will have classrooms, a large screen theater. It will be the finished out project that we're planning on. I hope to be around to see that part done, but that's our goals, is to go into that.
And when you say wing, is that a museum wing or a bird's wing?
Yeah, it's a museum wing. Yeah, it's the wing. And if you look at our webpage and some of the brochures, we've always showed this complete project, and the focus has been on the wing. The wing is very important to us, but we have to get there, and we need to do something and pay attention to what we're doing to get to that phase 3. Love to see it done, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, us too.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be a big hit.
I hope so.
Are there any other centers like this or anything on the Pacific Flyway?
Well, we have quite a few lagoons and estuaries. There's quite a few stops. There's federal and state refuges. If you go on the Pacific Flyway map, the National Geographic and Audubon has a beautiful map, and it shows lots of stops for the wildlife and birds to stop at. Interpretive centers and education centers, nothing like this magnitude. There's some beautiful displays, some great centers, a lot of stopping parts, but this is really special, especially that it's connected with the 116,000 acres. And we have, I don't know how many schools within just a few miles away, and we will focus on a lot of student anticipation that we will have schools want to bring their students in and buses and walking tours, and we're going to focus on student education. Yeah.
Well, that's great that we're going to have such a unique resource right here in our backyard.
Yep.
I imagine there's a lot that goes into this, a lot of people making this work, foundations and fundraisers. Could you
Amy,
tell us a little more about that?
Great committee, fantastic partners. Our partners are Ducks Unlimited, California Waterfowl, UC Davis, Audubon, SRCD, the Suisun Resource District, International Bird Rescue Center. We have great partners, and without the committee, I don't think we could get this far. And lots of outside help. A lot of people want to see this done that aren't part of the state and part of agencies, just individuals think it's very important to have something like this done and to be able to save our resources and share our vision with the public.
It's great to see everyone coming together for something that's so valuable that a lot of people
Really
maybe
is.
wouldn't have access to.
City's been a lot of help. Solano County's been help. The state, WCB board. I mean, we have just lots of partners out there that are helping us, that have made this, that have kept us going on it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, if people wanted to find out more information on this project, where could they go?
Well, we've developed a web page, and we're improving it every day. That would be pacificflywaycenter.org. And from there, we'll have some social media spots that they'll be able to get more information from there. The Fairfield Tourist Bureau has helped us a lot on our media page, so we're updating that. I think most important of everything we're talking about right now at the moment is our campaign. We're coming out with a campaign to acquire funding to keep this going. We have 2 grants in with the state of California. So we're looking for funding to keep this, to be able to put a shovel in the ground. And we have people and partners out there that want to donate to this. So they'll be hearing from us very soon.
That's great. And if people wanted to volunteer, can they go to that website as well?
They could go to that website. Right now, we're not taking volunteers, but very soon in the future, we'll need volunteers to help us and docents, and we'll get there. We're getting there very, very quickly.
Well, we are all very excited about
Good.
this project.
Good.
Have wait to see it right here in Fairfield.
Great.
Thank you so
Good.
much for being with us today.
Amy, thank you for inviting me, and this has been a great interview, and I don't have to do a lot of work to do this type. This is what I've been doing for the last 5 years, so thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Good.
All right, well, I'm Amy Kreimeier with the City of Fairfield here in Studio 26, And this has been the Pacific Flyway Center. For more information, you can go to the City of Fairfield website or the pacificflywaycenter.org. Thank you.